Hi guys, how is it possible, and this may come as a shock to you, I'm not a member of Reform UK, but how is it possible that I understand what they represent better than people who are putting themselves forward as candidates for Reform UK? So, Politics Joe was at their conference where they were interviewing members of the party, people who want to put themselves forward as candidates, and this one guy came up with a very strange reason why he wants to run for Reform. Have a listen.
So I'm looking to become the Reform candidate for the Maidenhead constituency in Berkshire.
You had something pretty horrific happen to you, and I wonder if you'd be okay to just recount what happened.
Yeah, sure. So in December 2022, I had my thumb bitten off by a Deliveroo rider. I ordered food on the Deliveroo app. Well, my ex-partner ordered food on the Deliveroo app, and the driver refused to come to the door for whatever reason. And when you've been asking her for about 5 minutes to come to the door, and you've opened the door twice in the hope that she's going to come to the door and deliver the food, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to put my shoes on and I'm going to go and get the food. So as I walked up the road and I said to her, I'm from that house, please, can I have the food, please? And because she didn't speak any English, the only word she knew was code. So I'm not sure if you're aware, on the Deliveroo app, you need a 2-digit code to be able to hand the food over. So I said to her, I'm from that house. If you give me the food, I'll go and get you the code, because the food was ordered on my ex-partner's phone, so I didn't have the phone. So then she screamed code at me again. So I raised my voice. I said, if you give me the food, I will go and get you the code. To which she then started to punch me in the face and punch me all over. As I put my arm out to keep her at a distance, my hand hit the side of her helmet and my thumb went through the visor to the point where she just clamped down and bit it off. I've got the picture here if you do want to see. And it's changed my entire life. She might have pled guilty to this, but then 2 days after she pled guilty, she was then seen working on the Deliveroo app on another account.
Obviously, the Labour government have proposed to work with these delivery apps like Deliveroo to crack down on people working illegally through account sharing. Does that give you any hope? What do you make of that? No, it doesn't give me any hope whatsoever, if I'm honest with you, because nothing's been changed. I sat down with Deliveroo and they said to me, until the legislation is changed, we're not going to make any changes because we don't need to. While we have a lot of things in place for people who open accounts, and we do the relevant police checks and we do soft checks on those people, if you've got a British driving licence and a bank account, it's generally pretty easy to open one of those accounts. But then you can share that account with anyone and everybody without doing any checks on the substitute rider, because the actual contract between Deliveroo and the account holder is that you're the person meant to be doing the checks. Now, if you're selling these accounts or opening an account to sell it online to make money, you're not going to do any checks on anybody at all, are you? What needs to happen is the legislation needs to change that no account sharing can happen. We need to have relevant police checks on absolutely everybody that has an account, and we need to do some kind of Face ID so that we know, right, you're going into whichever restaurant to pick up the food, you have to...
Okay, so he's calling for regulations. This is the problem here. Reform UK represent deregulation. This is what the whole thing about Brexit was about. There's too much red tape, too much bureaucracy. What we need to do is we need to unshackle businesses from all this red tape. This was what the Brexit Party was about, and this is what I presume Reform UK is about. Red tape is holding businesses back. We need to deregulate more. One of the fans of reform, although he doesn't come out and say it, is Jacob Rees-Mogg, another one who's a huge advocate for getting rid of red tape. Wait till he hears what this guy is saying who wants to run as a candidate for the party. We need more regulations. Now, I presume this story actually happened. I'm not questioning that it didn't. But he's running for a party and he's suggesting what we need is more regulations. The state need to step in, need to enforce rules and regulations. We need legislation to enforce this in Parliament, while he's running for a party that supports the idea of deregulation, stripping away protections for workers, protections for consumers. He's a consumer that was attacked by a business, somebody working for a business, and he's advocating for more protections for consumers, and at the same time joining Reform UK. You couldn't make this up. Maybe you should have a chat with Richard Tice and Nigel Farage and ask them, actually, are we a party for more regulation or less regulation? And of course, we know the answer to that. So maybe he should go and join a different political party, because Reform are not going to be on the side of the consumer. Why? Because Brexit was not about being on the side of the consumer. It was on the side of crooked business owners, the richest in society. Is what he's raising here serious and important? Yes, it is. If you had proper regulations in place and them being enforced, what happened to him probably would not have happened. There have to be strict regulations, and they have to be enforced in a way that businesses are fined or face some sort of sanction if they don't follow the rules. But Reform UK represent the opposite of that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.